Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's Tuesday morning, it's very early, and I'm down here in front of the MCA at Circular Quay, and as you can see it's an overcast morning, a bit breezy today, unlike the other couple of days this week, Saturday and Monday, where the breeze was absolutely arrested and there was nothing happening with the flags on the harbour bridge. But it's overcast and it looks like we may get a bit of rain today and over the next few days. But I always love coming down here to the MCA, especially to pay tribute to this magnificent, this unique installation, this sparkling eye, where we can reframe our world and look at things through a very, very different perspective. How blingy, how special is this? Anyway, let me just give you a different perspective of Circular Quay. So you got the bling in the background from the buildings and the light shining off the water and the train moving across the station there, and it's all highlighted and presented most beautifully with this installation, this work of art. And as I get a different angle, it just becomes shinier and shinier. I can't wait to show this to my granddaughters actually. Anyway, what I want to do today, as we normally do, is go through and do a book summary. And the book summary today is entitled Born for This by Chris Guillebeau. Chris Guillebeau wrote a book on Born for This, and it's all about trying to identify your calling from a work perspective. And what we'll do is we'll just go for a bit of a walk and talk and go down here to the International Passenger Terminal. So I'll farewell the MCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art, and it's just a lovely time of year and a lovely time of morning where the lights are still glistening. Interestingly enough, it's important to note that on Australia Day the Opera House will be lit up with some motifs and designs, indigenous designs, to kick off the morning and the day. So if I am in Sydney, which I seriously doubt that I will be, but if I am in Sydney, I'll come down here and do a 5am club at the crack of dawn, so we can see those motifs and see the magnificent Opera House at its finest. So the author kicks off the book with a call to action, and the call to action is that we all need, especially to the younger people, the people who are just finishing their studies and just embarking on their work lives. It says here that we need to select the job title that you want, but most importantly, because things are changing so quickly and so dramatically, that job title that you need to select is a job which doesn't even exist at this point in time. So we need to be creative, we need to put on our thinking caps and try and identify roles and opportunities, but also to be prepared to surf the many breaks, the many sets of waves, economic waves that come our way throughout our careers, because the one job career where you start and finish your career with a golden watch, doing the same job and working for the same organisation, is a thing of the past, and won't be the sort of work environment that future generations can depend on, like the generation before me, I guess, enjoyed to a certain extent. So the first formal point to come out of this book from this author is that we all need to consider and to think about creating a set of if-then sketches as fallback plans, so we can sweat less and worry less about the risks that may lay in our paths, and to feel more confident. I guess knowing that your job's not going to be around forever and that you need to do something about it is in itself a relief, but it also creates anxiety because you don't know when or for how long you'll be surfing your particular career or employment wave. I myself, who worked a number of years in corporate Australia, basically hit a dead end on a number of occasions, and my job was made redundant on 5 occasions. So I guess if it's happened to me in days gone by, then it's most probably going to happen to a lot of people over the years. So I guess the big message from this author is to not get too comfortable in your work, in your job, in your team, because it may not be around for as long as you are hoping for. But the good news is that as we go and grow and build capability in our particular jobs, that makes us also better positioned to be able to take on other advantages and opportunities. So a lot of people start work as an employee in a particular industry and end up running their own businesses. So this author encourages that mindset, where people can do their own thing. So to encourage you to start your own business, the author talks about incorporating and using a technique of visualization, where you try and visualize your worst case scenario, and to understand that regardless of what happens to you, you will survive it, and you will get through it, and you will recover. So there are 3 important points that we should all incorporate into our mindsets, and to understand that everything is figure-outable. And the important thing, as the author says, is to have a plan, build some skills, build a network, and get started, because getting started is what's going to give you the necessary momentum to keep on going, to keep on growing, to keep on learning, because sooner or later, as we said, problems are going to arise. Problems are going to arise anyway. If you're an employee, you're going to get shafted potentially and made redundant, and you have to start again, but you won't be starting again on your own terms. You'll need to then go off and recreate yourself, which may not be suitable in terms of timing and where you are at your particular stage in life. So what the author is saying is that we need to be doing this work, this pre-work, in advance, rather than being caught on the hop, so to speak, and to cause and create anxiety. But the important thing to understand is that regardless of what happens to us, we're going to find a way, and each hurdle, each pothole in the road is something that we can work around, over, under or through. And as I said, nobody gets lost, but we all gain a valuable experience, and we can build from that experience over time. So these if-then sketches that the author talks about are backup plans. So whatever we do, according to this author, is that we need to have a backup plan, a plan B, that you set up and create in your mind and on paper. And you of course have some savings for a rainy day. And you do all these things just in case you have some problems. You need to be able to have the ability to know what comes next. If A happens, then what do I do? So this is a powerful thing, especially if you're a sole provider, a sole income earner in a family, and you've got a partner and dependents who need you to be fully employed so you can pay the bills and create magic. So it's important to be organised according to the author, Chris, and to understand and to be able to visualise what's next, because we know that certainty is the sort of thing that people thrive, and if you don't have certainty, it creates an environment of fear, uncertainty and doubt and discomfort. But with the certainty, at least we're able to perform without being overly anxious. So the author here says it's important to have a backup plan, to have the if-then sketches, the plans set out and available in your mind at least, so that we can understand the first, second and third level consequences and deal with them as necessary. So the author then goes on to his second formal point, where he talks about the importance of setting up a side hustle, and you need to get it off the ground, and he uses 100 people project. So when we're thinking of doing something and going out on our own, what we don't do is, quit our job and then throw all our eggs into one basket. What the author says is the best way of doing it is to do it in a structured and methodical way. And the way you do it is you identify 100 friends or family, and using them as a springboard, not to build your business from a money perspective, but to build it from an experience and ideas and a learning opportunity. So we all need to find out what the right work is for us, and to do that we need to make a list, according to the author, of all the things that we're good at. Now, what are the things that we are specifically good at or better than average at? And everybody's has a niche, and everybody has interests, and everybody seems to be known for particular things. So the author here says that we need to identify the things that we are particularly good at, and also the things that we're not good at, and to be honest and truthful about those things, and to pay attention to what people say about you, to ask advice from your friends, what am I good at? What do you see in terms of the things that I do that are a standout, that I do better than other people? And it's no issue, it's not an issue, and in fact it's an advantage to be able to ask for help from the right people, to seek their counsel, and to use that as a brainstorming opportunity to get you to identify the things that you're good at and the things you're not good at, because you don't want to be focusing and spending time doing the things that you hate, because that's not that's not a way forward at the end of the day. So the author here says it's important to be able to identify 100 people from your contacts and send them a short message offering them a free 15-minute Skype consultation. And that way you're able to hone, to shape and to prepare your proposal and use them as a springboard. As we say, it's a free service that you're offering, but you're offering it just to better yourself, to understand yourself better, and to build, to shape your offering. And the last formal point to come out of this book is a beauty, where the author says and encourages us to be comfortable, to be okay with the seasons of life, because our lives are not going to be a straight line after all. Nobody's life is a straight line where you go from A to B to C in a straight line. It's a zigzagged approach where we have ups and we have downs. So you don't need to pick just one option and stick to it forever. We don't need to have one job and stick to it forever, is what the author here is suggesting. And I'll just come down here and get out of this buffeting breeze. It's just starting to pick up now, as you can see, but it is mild, the weather's mild, and it is quite balmy, so quite beautiful. So the important message for each and every one of us is that you don't need to stick to the same plan, you don't need to stick to the same job, to the same career, and you can chop and change as long as it serves you. So this is an important point, that you don't fail if you decide to change your mind. You change your mind, or you change, or you stop doing something because you have identified and decided and agreed with yourself that it no longer serves you and that you need to do something else to improve your life station and to make yourself more valuable and to add more value to people and organisations around you. So you've never signed a contract to be and to do one thing for the rest of your life. Understand that. There are certain things that we need to be committed to for our entire lives, and I'm a firm believer of being a parent, being a partner, and sticking to it. But when it comes to your work life, you do the things that help express yourself the most, that allow you to pay your bills, and the things that give you satisfaction from a professional perspective. You don't have to stick to doing something for your entire life just because you've built that reputation. Life is seasonal, as the author says, and you need to reflect that seasonality. You can't be the class clown. You can't be the entertainer for your entire life. There comes a time where you need to change, to settle down and to reflect the season of life that you're in. There's enough time in life to devote yourself to all of your passions throughout your life, but the important lesson, the important point to come from this author is that you can't do it all at the one time. You need to do it step by step, you need to do it one by one, and to do it at the right time in your life. We can't, I guess from this author's perspective, as we said, you can't be the diva. You can't be the center of attention for your entire life and your entire career, because the reality is, as we all get older, we all become more and more invisible. So what the author is saying is that we need to embrace, we need to leverage, and we need to live, I guess, with honor, with distinction, the seasons of our lives, and know there's a time to grow, there's a time to manage, and there's a time to let go of certain aspects of our lives and not be chained and tethered to things, as we said before, that no longer serve us. So thank you everybody for joining me on this morning episode, this AMS episode of Jim's 5am Club. As you can see, it's quite misty, it's quite mystical being in the city before the sun rises, and to be here at this magical location and to be here on my own is, as I said, also very, very special. There are people from all over the world who would give their right arm to be able to be here, right now. But I have the gift of Sydney, this most beautiful city of Sydney, and I can make the most of it every single day because I work close to the city. I come into the city early, and what I do is I get up half an hour earlier in order to come down here and to go for a walk and to enjoy this magnificent gift and overlay it with a message of support, a message of empowerment in the form of Jim's 5am Club. Anyway, take care, and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message of empowerment, where we can become and be partners in each other's growth and development and make the most of OPE, other people's experiences, in the form of book summaries, where we can take the lessons and incorporate them into our daily rituals, our daily lives, and we can live, learn and pass them on to our children, to our peers, to our families, to anybody we come into contact with on a regular basis. Yassas, and I look forward to coming to you again. Bye for now.